My stepdaughter 16 told me about how she was raped but told me not to tell anyone. What do I do? Obviously I want to tell her father. I feel like I need to tell him too. I think she needs to go to police and I think she needs to go to therapy as well. I tried my best to help her and comfort her and I really hope I did a good job at that today, but I clearly am not capable of giving her the help that she needs. She's been acting strange all day and her father has noticed it too and he's been asking her constantly what's wrong. I keep telling him that he needs to give her space and alone time but he won't listen, even when she tells him. Clearly he does this because he cares, and he won't take no for an answer. I just don't know what to do. I feel horrible that I couldn't protect her. She's and my daughter, my whole world. Although she may not be my biological daughter, I don't see her any differently than I see my daughter. I would do anything for the both of them, and it absolutely kills me to know she had to experience what she did. I feel horrible for not making her stay home last night. I feel like it's my fault that this happened to her. I just don't know what to do. Edit. I have told my husband to stop bugging her about it. I told him that I know what is wrong, but she doesn't wish for him to know. I'm going to let her decide if she wants to tell him. I'm letting her decide to go to police. And I'm going to strongly push her to go to therapy, and I'm going to suggest she tells her father if she feels comfortable. I will update again at a later date. Therapy? Huge yes. But going to the police or telling other people on her behalf? Huge no. Revealing it to family or going to the cops may just make her have to relive the entire ordeal all over again. Going to the police after a rape is a very personal choice, it isn't always handled well at all. At this point I would say to just be there for her, definitely do try to get her therapy. But if you start telling people, she's likely to never trust you again. Clearly he does this because he cares, and he won't take no for an answer. The last thing a young vulnerable teen needs right now is for a person of authority to refuse to take no for an answer. You need to shut that down tbh, it's going to make her trauma worse. That being said, no, you shouldn't force her to tell anyone else, but try to encourage her into therapy and at best let her know you are willing to support her if ever, whenever she wants to tell anyone else like police or your husband. I am willing to bet that most people saying that the father police needs to be involved have not experienced this. Your daughter's wishes should be respected and it is not for anyone else, you, her father, therapists, police, to try and fix, without her permission. Let her know you love her and you'll do anything she needs, wants you to do to help, but don't go to other people. Your personal relationship with her and likely any relationship she has in the future will never be the same once that trust is broken by someone she thought she could trust in a time of crisis and trauma. Good luck to all involved. Don't tell anyone unless she's in danger of it happening again, for instance, if it was a boyfriend or someone she sees regularly. And handle your husband. Tell him to trust you on this and to leave her alone when she asks to be left alone. I was sexually harassed 3 years ago. It took me 2 years to tell my mom. Only her know what happened. Her father do not need to know anything, nor the family. She's the one who was raped, not you. Therefore it's her choice and her choice alone to tell the police or anyone else. I can guarantee you that if my mother tell my dad or anyone else of my family about what happened to me, I would despite her for the rest of my life. Her choice of consenting was taken away from her once, do not make it happen twice. You handled this amazingly well. Giving her space and letting her have control over the situation is absolutely the best thing you could have done. I really hope her dad backs off. I get that he's only doing it because he cares, but crowding a rape victim like that is absolutely the worst thing to do. Everything needs to be on their terms and I feel like a lot of people just don't understand that. She needs an STD test. I have told my husband to stop bugging her about it. I told him that I know what is wrong, but she doesn't wish for him to know. I'm going to let her decide if she wants to tell him. I'm letting her decide to go to police. And I'm going to strongly push her to go to therapy, and I'm going to suggest she tells her father if she feels comfortable. Yep, spot on. Saves me the effort of trying to convince you to handle it as you did, and you covered it in less words than I could have, and probably also well covered it better in some of the details of what you did. Most excellent handling of a tough position to be in. If she isn't cooperative, then the police won't do anything useful and it'll just suck for her and ruin any relationship you have. And #X200B. But therapy? ASAP you get her there. Rape kit? That will be useful if and when she wants to report the rape. Remind me. 10 days. Police don't give a fuck. Definitely look for a therapist who specializes in sexual assault. Going to the police? Unfortunately with proof, she's going to face a tough time and that's fucking awful. Do not under any circumstances tell her father. Unless she gives you her permission, do not. You will destroy any and all trust she has in you. And I don't think you would ever get it back. It's up to her who knows what happened, she's trusting you to be a confidant. As for her dad, tell him it's important he hear her. She's said she wants to be left alone. To be harsh, if he loves and trusts her, he'll let her bring it up when she's ready. She's got years left to decide if she wants to pursue legal action. Depending on where you live. I understand how torn you are. You don't want to betray her trust in you, but at the same time it would be hard to keep that from her dad, your husband. I hope she is able to one day feel comfortable telling him. I do wonder will this impact your and his relationship when she does tell him and he finds out you knew and didn't tell him, even though she swore you to secrecy. I am so sorry this happened. Remind me. 1 week. Therapy yes, and see if she would like to go to the doctor. When I was 15, I was raped and I had a kit done, took the Plan B pill and had follow-up appointments to ensure my sexual health was intact. Honestly, you're doing great. Just do your best to be there, and be available if she needs you. Best of luck. Throwing kisses. Get in touch with a sexual assault advocate. The local domestic violence center should be able to get you in touch. They have more skill at working with this type of trauma and can coach you here. You can still protect her anonymity during these conversations while you gather the words you need. I agree with your edit. Good choice to let her decide who she wants to tell and if she wants to proceed with filing a police report. She had her control taken away and she needs to regain some of it. Just because I haven't seen anyone else saying this. Depending on where you live you may be legally required to report this to law enforcement. Check the laws where you live. Where I am I legally have 24 hours to report any kind of abuse on a child to CPS. I know she doesn't want you to, but you should aware of the potential legal consequences for you. She told you not to tell anyone, so once we are done giving you advice I would probably take this down, unless she is fine with it saying up. If she doesn't want you to tell anyone I would take this post down, and give it some time. Once you give it some time then bring her to a therapist and tell people if she wants. If you can convince her to tell authorities then hell yes do that. Way above Reddit pay grade. Call a rape crisis hotline and get their advice. I have been in this position. You need to give her an ultimatum. Either she goes to therapy or you tell her father. Let her choose. Fucking tell the authorities and get her some therapy ASAP. You seriously need to report it to the police, however, because your stepdaughter might not be the only victim. You want to prevent this from happening to anyone else. Honestly, anything I tell my mom automatically gets told to my dad. I kind of prefer it that way because it means I don't have to have the hard and uncomfortable conversations like that with him. Like just yesterday I admitted that an ex-friend of his made me extremely uncomfortable at one point, like the way he looked at me and a comment he made, and he said, "Oh yeah, mom told me something about that," and it was a relief cause I didn't have to make a big thing about it. My dad isn't easy to talk to, so it's a roundabout way of making it easier. As a married couple it's hard to keep secrets. I'd encourage her to get a rape kit done just in case. It may never be necessary. But I'd say it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Therapy is a must. With everyone else I agree. However, I disagree with the others. You need to take this to the police. I understand that it may cause your daughter to relive traumatic experiences. However, the rapist could strike again and is a threat to society. I believe that it is vital for you to inform the police and lock this sicko up before another innocent person gets raped as well. Your daughter does not have to testify in a potential court case, that is her decision. However, I think telling the police is something very important. You need to stress to her that she can't allow the rapist to get away with it. He'll continue raping other girls. Maybe her again and again. And he may get more and more violent. She did nothing wrong, she's the victim, and the evil monster needs to face the consequences for his actions. I feel like with rapes, you should have to go to the police. I get it's a traumatic time, but her rapist could go on to rape other girls, and having loads of time elapse makes it easier for rapist to get off with it. In years' time she will want him to face justice. In most instances it's all people want. Her not making moves now would make older her regret it. Tell him, but get him to calm down first. Imagine how he'll feel about not taking no for an answer once it's all laid out for him. But that said, once that's done, tell him and begin taking the set you all need to heal. I'm sorry your family it going through this time and hope things look up soon. Call the police. Forget about what people say. She doesn't get a vote. Honestly, her father deserves to know. She may not want you telling him for a variety of reasons, trust, shame, whatever. But in my opinion, her family is the only thing she needs right now to help her start the healing process. And yes, going to the police too. Find out who did it, and charge them. You have an ethical obligation to tell her father. Are you married to him? And you kept this from him regarding his own child? You need to tell her dad. This isn't even a question. And the cops need to get involved now.